about buying your first home in Nova Scotia, but not sure how much you actually need to save for a down payment? You're not alone. This is one of the most common questions I get from first-time buyers, and the answer might surprise you. Hi everyone, bonjour tout le monde. I'm Danielle Levine with Exit Realty Metro. In today's video, we're going to take a closer look at what you really need for a down payment here in Nova Scotia, how the numbers break down depending on the price of the home, and what programs or rebates are available to help make your first home more affordable. So grab a drink, settle in, and let's dive into the real numbers behind buying your first home in Halifax. So first things first, what's the minimum down payment required if you're buying in Nova Scotia, and more specifically the Halifax region? Here's the rule. If you're buying a home with a purchase price of $500,000 or less, you need at least 5% down. That would be about $25,000 on a $500,000 home. If your home is priced between $500,000 and $1.5 million, an increase from the previous $1 million threshold last year, the calculation changes slightly. You'll need a 5% down payment on the first $500,000 and then 10% on the portion above that amount. If you're buying a home over $1.5 million, you must put down at least 20%. So, for example, if you buy a $650,000 home, 5% on the first $500,000 equals $25,000 plus 10% on the remaining $150,000 equals $15,000. So your total down payment, $40,000. Keep in mind, it's important to also budget for the closing costs, legal fees, inspection costs, your deed transfer tax, title insurance, maybe even moving costs. Generally, that adds 1.5 to 3% of the purchase price. So on a $500,000 home, that's another $7,500 to $15,000 roughly. Now you may be thinking, wow, that's a lot of money. Is home ownership out of reach? Not at all. Because with a smart plan, proper strategy, and the right program, it's absolutely achievable. Speaking of the right programs, if you're a first-time home buyer in Nova Scotia, there are some very helpful provincial incentives that can help reduce the upfront financial burden. Let's highlight two of the key programs. Number one is the Down Payment Assistance Program, or DPAP. This is a provincial loan program to help eligible first-time buyers with their down payment. Here's what's key. You must be a first-time buyer, meaning you haven't owned a home that you lived in during the past 4 years, or you're going through a breakup or a marriage or common law partnership, in which case the 4-year rule may not apply. You need to be pre-approved for an insured mortgage by an approved lender, and your total household income must be less than $145,000. Also, the property must be in Nova Scotia, your principal residence, and meet regional purchase price caps. In HRM, the cap is now $570,000. Now, the loan covers up to 5% of the purchase price, interest-free, and is repayable over 10 years. So effectively, this program gives you a leg up. You still need your down payment, but your burden may be significantly reduced. The second one is First-Time Home Buyers Rebate Program. This rebate is particularly for new construction homes in Nova Scotia. So if you buy a newly built home, not just a resale, and you meet first-time buyer criteria, then you may qualify for a rebate of up to $3,000 on the provincial portion of HST. While that rebate amount may seem modest when combined with your own savings and other federal programs, for example, the Home Buyers Plan via RSPs, it adds up and helps your overall affordability. So pulling this all together, you don't just have to rely on your personal savings. These programs exist to help clear the path. That means fewer stress and more confidence as you enter homeownership. Now let's build a realistic budgeting example to show you how this could look. So let's say the purchase price is $450,000. You need to put down a payment of 5%, so that's $22,500. Then closing costs around 2%, that's $9,000. So your total upfront cost would be $31,500. But if you qualify for the DPAP and receive the max eligibility of 5% interest-free loan, then that's $31,500 minus $22,500. You then might only need to bring $9,000 in personal savings. That difference is significant. Here's another example. If the purchase price is $600,000, then your down payment, 5% on the first $500K, that's $25,000, plus 10% on the remaining $100K, which is $10,000, equals $35,000. Closing cost, around 2%, $12,000. Total, $47,000. So with the DPAP, up to 5% of the max, which is now $570,000 in HRM. So that would be around $28,500. You could reduce your personal funds required significantly. The bottom line, home ownership is within reach, even in Halifax's current market. You don't need to sit on 20% down and years of waiting. With a smart savings plan, pre-approval, and use of the right programs, you can move in sooner than you think. Now let's tackle some common questions I hear. First one, do I absolutely need 20% down? Not in Nova Scotia if you're buying under 1.5 million. You can do 5% or 5% on the first 500K and 10% on the rest. Number two, will using these programs hurt my mortgage approval? Not necessarily, as long as you meet lenders' requirements like the credit, income, etc. For example, the DPAP is allowed alongside an insured mortgage. Next question, can I avoid all closing costs? No. Closing costs are real. Inspections, legal, title, transfer tax, so plan for them upfront. Is a first-time buyer only if I've never owned a home before? The definitions can vary. For example, for the rebate program, you must not have owned and occupied a home in Canada in the last 4 years. So, what should you do next? Get pre-approved for your mortgage. That gives you certainty and locks your rate for a short period. Calculate your savings target, down payment, closing cost, moving budget. Check program eligibility. Talk to a mortgage broker or a mortgage specialist to determine if you qualify for DPAP or the rebate. Start your home search with your budget in mind. And remember, you don't have to figure this out alone. I'm here to make the process simple and stress-free. Just drop me a message, comment below, and I'll help you through the whole thing. If you found this video helpful, please subscribe, hit the like button, and follow me on Instagram so you don't miss next week's video. Thanks for watching, and I'll see you next time.